Worldwide markets falling out over Lehman Bob fallouts, head-crashing downward desperations. Mega headlining, market whizmos, investical whatsits, stocko dropping, drowning under Lehman Bob aftershocks.
Impactico hitting all sectors, especially whacker wobbling, already uber wobbling banking sector. And maybe all downward together, adjoining Economica bottery, Ramo randangling, fighting face saving between Ostro Kino, including Chicagoza.
Endangering worldwide into Economica abyss. Needing a hole in the head right now for Pulipunka enlisting von Hayek. Uber utter, head-crashing irresponsibility, whilst right now publica politica statesmanship, statescraft is called for.
Enraging econs you, Chicagoza, Kinos, are far more randangling each other than addressing the economy.
Yes, indeedy. As Kino or Chicagoza or desist from silly willy slimody writing me, snappy sniping, ever rubbishing, misinterpreting Austro theory, that a far better accounts Huron than any other Economica screwdriver.
Sankers to Bernanke, Wizzo worked well enough, albeit slightly bungo-boobed up right now. Yes, of course. You know, I just wanted to respond to recent criticisms about Chicagoza. You know, with Friedrich, atop right now, within the New York Fed. You know, he's making economists look ridiculous.
Kino versus Hayek versus Milto. Warring wording against each other over what best to do about the crisis. For having to endure only one financial crisis is bad enough. But more than one economist wanting to solve it may be just too much. Coming soon in cinemas worldwide.
Smashing your wide-eyed expectations to smithereens. Or more likely already realized there was not a movie coming soon, but merely a rough, clumsy, clunky mock-up movie trailer. Using conceptualized pre-production type artwork for envisaging first part of sci-fi econo cinematic franchise. Re-envisaging our flesh and blood humanity now made Homo Mechanica robotized exaggerated storyline projected within world afar.
However, doing aside, damn Yankee wrangling, Zaggle Zoogling. You know, for if it was to let go, the everyday, economical ramifications are horrido huge.
Needing, no marriage advice, being already married to me, being one and the same as I am Wizzy Zoomy, Planet Layman Bob, revving, headlong healthy, for rest assured, remaining uber strong. And you, Meteor Moggery, headlining hearsay, whilst uber ought, a far better headline, your own idiocy.
So perhaps let's not find out, but manage ourselves back up as what we can sensible salvation via Kinzig-log.
I hereby affirm the rumor milling, media mogs, market televators, oso-nosos, armchair onlookers, chatter-watery, whatever, that Lehman Bob Brothers did indeed file for bankruptcy at 2 a.m. this morning.
Sadly, it is so, but had to be. Let's go.
Undeniably, all of us, we're witnessing right now unprecedented, darn gone economic turmoil, market mayhem, financial instability. However, rest assuring, as Americansians, we'll endure.
Awaiting headlong, heated, no more Kano, nor glassware, nor bailouts. Here, you hear?
Splendo spend on borrow too much, being printo pressed, inflating bubble atop bubble, to latest hereon, housey bankers bursting. And now having hanky, Recco wanting more billioning, for fighting, with more gasoline, inflaming fireballs, enlarging Guvo, Kino intervening.
And yet the Economica Agro remains close enough to our world that we can all still sorely recall the 2008 financial crisis, faming bumbling bankery, bedeviling politicas, enraging public outrage, inflamed via media reporting apace, let alone between clashing economists warring wording diametrica differing over how best to tackle the economic crisis, ensnaring the economy shown too important to be left to Guvo politicas and economists alone. Within screenplay now aspiring filmed if enough buy-in to enjoy the story that arrays their opposing arguments but invites you to decide who'll be more right between almighty clashing economists Keynes v. Hayek v. Milton. As we all having sharing, caring and partaking the economy, enough now chancing wider explored shown afar from academic. When the economy affects everyone impacting everyday livelihoods ongoing today and our future tax-paying prosperity, econo freedom and liberty. Now explored beyond the usual sci-fi laser explosions, but the explosive econo events of 2008 ensuing clashing arguments. Now rid up for venturing entertain, even enlighten us via screenplay. Authored by Andrew James Stewart, inspired after 2008 noticing myriad Wall Street trader. Docudramas blah blah blah. Hatching hoping movie could now emerge for exploring competing econo theory through sci-fi means. Making them better looking, allying inventive cybers sounding lingo, selling it forth for super cybers celebrating the extraordinary impactful economy, its subject. And economists. Along with Guvo, politicas, mainstream and online media, investors, protesters, even including Bitcoiners, now all in flesh and blood, translated from Homo white, black and brown into steel, iron and copper, Homo mechanica robotized environ, dynamica transcending our present day, increasingly stultifying mores. Now liberated, carefree within irrelevant, often wacky-looking multi-metalized world. Chancing made movie if enough enjoy the screenplay. Endeavoring dare speculative exercise and perhaps attempting bottom-up reverse engineering itself to be popularly filmed. Rather than traditional top-down studio decided what can and cannot be made film. And albeit somewhat unlikely never to see politicas, bankers, myriad media, investors, and econs etc. blah blah including Elon, or is it now a Lono Muskadroid to be ever made movie, but still worthy trying. All in within storylining characters arguing within and all about the unfurling extraordinary events of 2008 crisis, notably through almighty Keynes, Hayek and Milton and their followers. Arguing about bailouts versus not to. Demand managed versus laissez-faire. Regulation versus deregulation. More Guvo versus less Guvo. Fiat money versus sound money. Intervention versus non-intervention. Central money banking and rates versus decentralized money banking and rates. Liberalism versus libertarianism. Managed market versus freer market. Short run versus long run. Top down versus bottom up. Bitcoin versus fiat money. Degolded money versus regolded money. Blah blah atop many other arguments that the story arrays in presenting their opposing arguments, but invites you the audience decide between them, since they cannot agree among themselves, as the economy having been shown simply too important to be left up to econs alone. So now having it out projected wider for a mass engagement perhaps, or maybe not, but authored worthy finding out trying his vaunting ambition through at least now releasing the screenplay. For he is well aware that any unfilmed screenplay, let alone about econo theory, would never be made movie via usual top-down studio route, hence now publishing his proposal this way. And although not a novel, but hopefully made more readable or page flick through listen to, especially if the VSV illustrated editions are complemented with its audiobook. And if uninterested, dare maybe find some interest in our free channel bulging aplenty content supporting, indeed discussing the screenplay, so much so that you almost hardly need buy it, but if you do, you'd have good idea of what to expect, making for an usual reading, viewing, and listening experience. Our channel is best consumed starting from preview, then listed on downward. Along with other content, and more content will be duly added. All in and author felt necessary in cultivating those of you hopefully now intrigued enough in this Zaggle Zooogle series to even worth checking out our publications. And pray note the author does not loathe anyone characterized in his carefully crafted screenplay come film. Moreover, having come to respect their opinionated verve and intellectual import, indeed they may take some solace that the author felt them vital, interesting, and relevant enough to be wider aired, daring, filmed one day, albeit admittedly somewhat unlikely, but still worthy trying. For whether agree or not with them, no one portrayed in this story is insignificant, thus worthy plays their part in the story whole, be it bankers, politicas, investors, media, econs, or anyone else, all in somehow putting themselves out there, so much so meriting inclusion in this story or the unabridged version, hopefully due out in 2024. And pray check out our vocally cloned animatic series within screenplay, now aspiring filmed, if enough buy in to enjoy the story.
Mega macho boxed up inside Hayek in publica repetico insistence is uber ultimo unwise publica pleasing but ignoring everyday economica politica practicality. Managing backup, intervening if needy be, however messy than risky poo, mega toppling into horrida ramifications. That's all.
So, wanting pulley plunker, pulling up Lehman Bob and taxpayer handouts. Uber ultimo is not what you're saying.
No, all I'm saying, and here's hoping Barclay Clog pull through, however, if not sensible consideration, Guvo Gizmo governmental intervention ought be discussed. Except now made triple harder after Insistico inviting Hayek round chucking out Economica Sensible's pushy flopping downward Rotembergo Woodfordo Angelo Fischio amongst many other uber dober verily able economica bottery. Who uber surely ought tabled back upward New Yorkie Fed for tabling upward all options. That's all for enrolling hanky within both sides of the argument. You know, Timo Gartner, the New Yorkie Fed head, they're using his table, but where is he gone missing? And Benny Bernanke should be there and not lying low in Washington's Eccles. Pullapunker tick-tocking hastens Monday, yet left alone without any sensible advisory oversight if all else fails. That's all. You know, if Barclay Clog withdraws, who's he going to turn to after Economica practicalities? Any other alternative having been banished? Demoted down, along with any common sense, gone forsaken.
Well, he got exactly who he wants. Professor von Hayek designing Spinkoza. That may indeed wizzo work, enabling Bar Clayclog, buying in, taking over Lehman.
Yes, but if not, then what next? He's left alone, turning to Hayek, who advises bugger all except witness worldwide meltdown worser. Ultimo proving, if ever needs be, that Austriansian do nothing laces fair economica theory, for if ever made reality, yet doubles up upon already mega mayhem made even worser. Damn bandangling mega millibot jobless mega more bankery business every day. Everybody losa flopping worldy wide worsening. Ruinous risking toppling downward, maybe trillions mega damaging too much economicas. Below recession, maybe depression.
And econo upheavaling, how we transacto together without guvo enlarging themselves with our everyday economic of freedom, whilst better best left to us, than too much guvo assuming knowing better.
Transcending glassware through someone Sartosa gifting everyone except Central Guvo with fabulous Bitcoin. Awaiting a mass adopted in rolling ball bearings for a new economical liberty worthy held onto, then diabolica debased away.
Ask yourself, who exactly is getting punished? Is it the bailed out bankers, and more so central bankery, having Printo cause the crisis, to now acting as our saviors by Printo pressing even more? Of course, as taxpayers having to fund these bailouts, we all know who is and who is not getting punished, as my question doesn't need an answer. And if it does, it may be, just maybe better answered by a Bitcoin future, answering nigh on solving our insanity, being no longer able to repeat it.
But now we can transacto enjoy our own econo wizardry beyond manipulation, censor, borders, and excessive moralizers. Thanks to Bitcoin.
My heady stuff, crowd pulling, confro cheerleading, hypo talkafloxing Bitcoin sky high as if already replaced almighty dollars with world anew.
Yes, Wizzo Bang Bitcoin is worthy banging on about, as we headlong hypo do.
But hypo hyping what's merely no more than digito digits. Compiling coding made of zeros and ones, after flipping houses, so now this that we cannot even see nor sketchy heady understanding. So, how goes it?
Entirely digital cryptocurrency, unstoppable transacto peer to peer beyond borders or any Guvo centro manipuloides. Wino winningly decentralized for awaiting a mass adopted force-a-flopping Guvo's regolding, or better still, Revo replacing Guvo Printo Press Fiat Standard with Wizzo Bang Bitcoin Standard.
Now pray tell, for why the helly well should anyone buy Bitcoin? For surely a jumped up cluster of cybo-coded digits livio living lounging around in computers. For how exactly can Bitcoin be better than resuming regolding our dollars? As like we once had.
Well, that is because.
No. It's actually because Seife Alma, Boyo Padiwak, John Zavali, Miko Sela, and the rest of Austro Bitcoiners headbanging happened to be uber, utterly raving mad. If they actually think poo envisage Bitcoin's gonna amount anything other than digito speculo, eventually crasho-flopping cyber worthless absurdity.
Okay, Pedro, if we could just, before we go to you.
Having Seifeo Amo at L having hijacked von Hayek into third Revo, entertaining his cybo crypto absurdity. After no longer growing lemons, he goes off in a huff instead to grow tulips written up like paddywhack book. Prophesizing, ponder-pooing, blather-blogging, Bitcoin's gonna somehow monetarily take over the world.
as the best money, the hardest thing to be chosen as money is that resists to being easy made, more of a like time honored, dug up golden scarcity, or even better still, Bitcoin.
Okay, but why Bitcoin and other up-and-coming crypto coins? For why not choose Etho, Zuckercoin, Eleno, or even his new Marzipan Plus coin? No doubt for first adoption if he ever gets to Mars. Is Pedro right that you lot are completely raving bonkers?
No, listen, after being inspired through reading Indeed Answering Salerno-Gonk von Miso on von Hayekian theory. And rest assured, my Bitcoin book is only concerned with Revo revolutionizing the monetary system here on planet Earth. Unlike Elon Musk, our macro is not multiplanetary, as we Austro-Bitcoiners are firmly rooted for staying put right here to fixico things than fly away.
Yeah, and myself, upon finding Bitcoin escaping from Canadasia, was enough for me.
Okay, so all of you are, just...
Exactly, a bunch of blithering idiots. Cheerleading, ever more blundering into Bitcoin, that's what they're doing. Hyping speculo-bigo, blowing their own bubble. Nor even needy Sanko Bernanke when we've now got them. We've had .com doorknobs then flipping houses, so we don't need Ostros made absurd. By third Revo hyping what we cannot see nor buy hardly anything with, and if it does taking half a day to buy a lemon cake or a cup of coffee, and in transacto fees, costafloxing 10 times more than the coffee itself having already gone cold.
Listen, myself, among others, having never said Bitcoin's revving ready right now for replacing dollars, nor did Hayek, but mega merely thinky-pooing possibilities impelling ought included along with third Revo proposing re-golding and free banking.
No. It was never hammered out after headbanging agreed between us. Von Hayek, Rockerwell, Woody Worley, Stocky Bogglewell, Sailor No Gunk, Paulobot, blah, blah, plus Walter Blah, that we should in any way have ever added in Bitcoin bonkery. Senila Boyo Paddywhack being right now, as they are without even hearing you, as you are revving already ridiculous. After Sternico Frankel, then smashy, glassy Leifin Bob fiasco, to now at least right now we've set back keynote. Who for sure, after hearing you dreamy droning on banging on about Bitcoin, is gonna slam...
Anyhow, although snippets, they should be quite fun providing some felt impression of this slightly more irreverent world, but should still resonate with ours. An almost unerring take on some of these interesting personalities characterized in the story. Well, the author hopes so, for striving somehow to project their arguments in what may roughly look like if filmed. But if never gets to the big screen, the screenplay will have to do. Being now released without much fanfare, for of course, if anyone is out there interested in an unfilmed sci-fi screenplay about economics, which as of yet is a somewhat unexplored, untested market. And so finally, farewell, and if you do purchase one of our publications, pray leave a review, as the author would be interested in what readers think, helping him determine if this be worthwhile continuing. And for those notably shown and still living, and now finding themselves characterized within screenplay, are not complete, as the unabridged version may enlist over 400 named econs, politicas, and media. Storyline brought together exploring economics, aspiring for having it out on the big screen someday perhaps, or maybe not. However, having the author having got this far felt whizzle-worthy for surely endeavoring for fitfully finding out. For after too much dally-dawdle and delay in getting this channel and supportive contents up and running, ensuing now finally pushing the screenplay out there for those brave enough to buy into it. launching forth along with mere hope, as the author having nor cultivated, reached out, nor attempted engender any following nor pre-order garner any word or comment or reviews whatever, but super simply putting it out there. For if not filmed, the screenplay can be at least read, or maybe better page flick through listen and look through than having to read every word when accompanied with the audiobook, especially working well with the illustrated VSV screenplay edition. So, having put up so much content, it should suffice than need hear from the author, but no doubt will soon speak for himself than too much preoccupied in AI voicing technology at the moment. But finally, for now, farewell. And if you do enjoy one or more of our editions, pray leave a review being of interest to the author. Besides uploading various editions gradually onto various platforms, and after upload tailoring supportive content onto YouTube, Odyssey, and now TikTok. And after admittedly too much dithering, the author now feels surely high time to finally try promoting this for those out there intrigued enough to try it out. Hopefully helped out by enjoying our new release launching offers during March. But if this is not your thing, thanks for getting this far and wishing you all the best in what your economic future brings, including economists and their extraordinary subject, indeed ever onward endeavor toward well-intended trying fathom the economy remaining evidently a troubling yoke, but a fascinating one that the author believes could make a great sci-fi movie exploring their subject made sounding and better looking for a mass consumption. That be his proposition worthy launching forth positing for finding out, and no doubt we shall see yet. For now, truly finally farewell, bye-bye. Aside this YouTube channel, different content should be found soon on Odyssey, and even some content has been tailored for TikTok. But this developing long-form YouTube channel should suffice most of you to enjoy this channel.